Yeah.
Because he could literally be the best striker on the planet.
But we'll never know.
But we'll never know because he is surrounded by so many donkeys.
Target number 1, Osimhen.
We've got a lot of United fans that have kind of come out of the sewers this season. Because the season's... He's too small.
He's too small. He's too small.
He's too small, lad. Bloody Harry Maguire and Lindelof fitting it into Fred and McTominay. The ball's just going to be spinning off left, right and centre.
BoreDraw, episode 37, coming at you live in the flesh. Bosh, right here, right now. Let's do it.
Man United. What did I
Glory,
say?
glory, Man United.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Wow, Erik 10 HAG.
It's 10 Hag's world and we're just living in it.
Yeah, it is, man. Bald guy's done it again.
Nah, yeah.
These bald managers, man, they're too good.
It makes me feel good that I'm balding.
Because
there's not many perks of balding, but being a bald manager,
yeah,
it's probably the only perk.
Like, I'm just trying to think, yeah. I saw a tweet. This is where my inspiration is coming from. I haven't just thought of this originally. It's like managers, the best managers in the world, either have no hair or like crazy hair. So like,
give me a crazy hair one.
Klopp, kind of like long flowing hair.
Yeah, fucked. Yeah.
Bald guy, Pep, Erik 10 HAG,
De Zerbi. He's got that kind of like.
He's got the weird like.
Yeah, kind of like the sharp chiseled Italian beard and spiky.
Conte, hair, crazy hair.
Wig.
Graham Potter, normal man's hair, dead manager.
Dead. Do you remember that? So there was like all those memes of Graham Potter when he first got the Chelsea job and he got the cleanest fade and started wearing like a turtleneck and suit and everyone was like, that's my manager. And then they panned to now. And you know that picture of him where he's got like
the bags,
worst bags under his eyes? Yeah, how the mighty have fallen, I guess. But that's not what we're talking about right now.
Not right now, anyway.
We're talking about how the mighty have resurfaced as a mighty.
This Sunday just gone on. It was a fairly cold day in Wembley.
Yeah,
Man United met Newcastle.
London was absolutely filled to the brim with tunes.
Yeah, the Geordies were out in full force, even after the embarrassing music videos that have been released during the week.
Yeah.
We won't talk about those. But what a fantastic support. Unbelievable.
Yeah, and I think... So, they haven't obviously had the silverware of Man United. They haven't even been close to the silverware of Man United. It's been a hot minute since Newcastle...
55 years or so?
Yeah, so their last trophy they won was an FA Cup back in the 70s, I think, or something like that. No, it was more than that. It was the 50s, I think, they won the trophy.
Oh, maybe.
So, it's been a hot minute since Newcastle have been trophy holders. So they were very excited. That's why I think, say if this final happened 2 years ago, they go, why the fuck, how are we in the final? And our team is nowhere near capable of battling it out against Man United. Mm-hmm. But now, they probably feel as close to Man United as they've felt in decades.
And Man United have probably felt as close to Man United as they've felt since Sir Alex Ferguson.
In decades, yeah. That's quite a nice little segue, how close they feel to Man United.
So,
yeah,
I mean, we'll talk a little bit about the game. I thought, well, my initial reaction about 10 minutes in was Diego Dallo's going to get sent off.
Yeah.
Alan Saint-Maximin had the running of him, and I think Newcastle did everything right. I just don't think that. I think the occasion might have been like a bit too much or something. Like Man United seemed very calm and controlled. I think Casemiro had a brilliant game. Yeah, and I came out of the game just thinking he is a winner. Like you could put him in any team in the world and he would be unbelievable because that man is just a winner. I think for me, I haven't seen Partey in a couple of weeks, but I think for me, Casemiro is the best DM in the league.
Yeah, I saw you tweet that.
If you're taking one for the long term, you go Partey. But I think Casemiro is
just at the top of his powers.
He's got all the experience behind him.
Yeah.
And in that role, you don't really need to be young because it's not always a lot of running.
It's a lot of know-how.
It's a lot of IQ, and I think he does it better than maybe anyone on the planet right now.
100%. I think you hit the nail on the head when you said I think the occasion did probably get a little bit to the Newcastle players. I think overall they were the better team, Newcastle.
Yeah, they were good.
In a final, you don't need to be the better team.
They lacked that cutting edge, though, didn't they?
Yeah, and I think what Man United have is they have a lot of winners in their team.
And they had killers, like
winners and killers.
Yeah.
They have winners in Varane, in Casemiro, in, I don't know, De Gea has been there, done that, won trophies with United. They've had, and then they've got killers, Marcus Rashford, all them, man.
Marcus Rashford, all of them.
But yeah.
I mean, Bruno Fernandes, I would say, is a bit of a killer.
Yeah.
I would say, I thought Anthony was all right.
Yeah,
I think he's dangerous, but I think we're still yet to see the best of him, and I think it's going to take a while for him to lose the tagline of being a futsal merchant, a 5-star
tagline from me.
Yeah, you smeared him with that, bro. But yeah, I think Newcastle fans won't be disappointed. You'll be disappointed.
Of course, you will.
They're not. They won't be like disgusted. Cause I think they know they're on the up.
Yeah.
However, I mean, it is interesting though, because I think we've said this on Saturday at the pub. We both think Newcastle have overachieved massively. I think they're way ahead of what their potential is.
Yeah.
But I think with the right signings and investment, obviously the right signings can make any team a phenomenal force of nature, but they've got the backing to do so. So it'd be interesting to see how they approach it, because they've been quite low key about their signings. I mean, Alexander Isak was sort of the only really big one.
Yeah.
Bruno Guimaraes was maybe as well, but they've gone quite low key. Sven Botman is a nice signing.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree that they've overachieved, and you can kind of see that in their Premier League form at the moment. It's starting to balance out. I think they were just performing way above their kind of skill level and like consistent ability, but it's starting to mellow out. But I think, like you said, they're ahead of their plan, and probably in spending wise, they're probably going to get Champions League or Europa League, and to get that with pretty minimal spend is probably quite worrying for all the other teams in and around the top six, because when Newcastle get that Europa League or Champions League money, plus the money that they can inject anyway, looking ropes for the big clubs like Chelsea and Liverpool that are starting to fall down the league.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only thing that clubs like Liverpool and Chelsea won't have to worry about is that they are big clubs, and big clubs seem to have an ability to never really fade away, because their support is so massive.
Yeah,
that they will always be like appealing assets to people like the Qatari State Fund and the Saudis and all them. So they will never end up falling away, because they are just so already massive in the game.
Yeah.
They're figureheads of the game. Even players like the best players from other leagues still coming to Chelsea, still coming to Liverpool,
Yeah.
Because even though they're sat in the middle of the table.
It's a rich man's game.
Rich man's game. And Liverpool and Chelsea are rich in heritage. Maybe not Chelsea.
Yeah.
Fuck Chelsea.
Yeah, always fuck Chelsea. Every time. But on the final, I think, like you said, Newcastle, they'll be sad that they lost the final, but I think their kind of take home from it will be, this isn't going to be the first and last final. They're on the right road. They'll probably get another final next year or the year after, and they'll bring some trophies home.
The fact that they're competing for Champions League, the fact that they got to the final of the League Cup, is testament to what a good job Eddie Howe's done.
Yeah, and like you said, they're way ahead of their current schedule. And I think I said this on a pod, God knows how long ago, got to be like a couple of months ago, that I thought the Newcastle plan was going to be get Eddie Howe in to get them out of the relegation battle that they were in, and steady them at mid-table, then get an elite manager that's used to European football, can attract the names, because you can't see like them signing like a Rafael Leao and him getting managed by Eddie Howe. That seems a bit like weird. But if they steady the ship, let Eddie Howe do his thing, and then they get an elite manager to push them on to the next level. But Eddie seems to have done more than I think most people expected, and I think that's testament to him, testament to the boys that he's got in. But what I saw a lot of people saying is that why this was a sad result is because, and I think James Lawrence Alcott kind of put this idea in my head, is that a lot of these players, Dan Burn, Sean Longstaff, they're not going to be there long term when they start getting in the world beaters.
Well,
and you won a trophy for those guys.
I look at this Newcastle squad, and I think Eddie Howe is getting the most and more out of some very average players.
Yeah.
I don't think Joe Willock is all of that. I don't think he's that great.
I don't think he's European level.
Don't think Longstaff is elite. Don't think Almiron is sort of like that.
No, he had that purple patch, but I think he's...
I don't think Callum Wilson's ever hit the heights that we've sort of expected from him.
And he's either... Now he's like 30 and
he's had a lot of injuries throughout his career.
So
like,
he's
and
not
I think
be...
he's still a brilliant Premier League striker.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And I think he's probably one of England's better choices. But I don't think he's going to be like he's not going to be like a Gabriel Jesus or an Erling Haaland or even a João Felix or to get you to that next level.
Yeah.
But yeah, and they do lack sort of just that oomph about those electric signings. I don't even think Alan Saint-Maximin is a top European
No,
player.
I think they need a couple more Bruno Guimaraes around the pitch because you can
Sven
tell
Botman
he
as well.
is like and Sven Botman.
They're
You can
two-
tell they're built for like European elite footballing, whereas like you said, Almiron, Sean Longstaff, Joe Willock, even Dan Burn, who I like, but I think Dan Burn is probably going to be out of his depth when they get European football. You need a couple more Brunos and Sven Botmans around the place, and then they'll be ready to mingle it with the top boys.
You don't need
But that comes.
You don't need to go out and spend like abhorrent amounts of money to be able to sign players like that. You can do it correctly and make it that way. But it'll be interesting. I mean, I think sort of the same thing sort of happened to West Ham after their European journey where they faltered. But I think they sort of tried to do the same thing. Then they bought like subpar players, and it's easy to say it now looking back in retrospective. But the likes of Scamacca hasn't worked. I know he's been injured a lot, but Lucas Paqueta, I think he's been all right, but he's not been what they needed. They brought in like Ben Rama as well.
Yeah,
not it really.
Tilo Correa, yeah.
So like they're these players who are probably on the cusp of being like decent European footballers, but they're not the top tier. But I think Newcastle need to. I think they go about their signings the same way they went about Botman and Guimaraes. They'll do well because I think that is the ideal type of player to be looking for. But a good elite player like European players don't come around.
No, I agree. I
often.
think that's why it's sad for like the likes of Joe Willock, Sean Longstaff. It'd be nice if they were the group to get Newcastle their first trophy in like 70 years, and then even if they get shipped out for the elite players, they can always be kind of like cult heroes around Newcastle for getting that first trophy, and maybe they'll get it next year.
Maybe they're cult heroes if they get Newcastle Champions League.
Exactly that, yeah. But
I can't see Eddie Howe. Well, I can't see Eddie Howe getting replaced.
No,
unless Zidane or Pep came out and was like, "I want to be in Geordie." Like,
yeah, literally.
But
Zidane's just like, why are you, mate?
And I don't think Eddie Howe would let. I think he's very much a manager who relies on the soul and heart of a squad.
Yeah,
I don't think he would let the Newcastle hierarchy rip out the squad, likes of like
players,
Longstaff and Shelby and not Shelby, Longstaff and Willock and Dan Burn and all those sort of 100%. Players, like because they've done a job, and I think he respects that as well.
Yeah.
I think that's important to him.
Yeah, he seems like quite a good manager, doesn't he? Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was an interesting final. I think Newcastle, fair play.
Yeah, fair play Newcastle, but I think it's time we talk about Man United. Obviously, we've got a mate in Gaffers who's been on the pod, who's a big United supporter. He's a happy chap. We've got a lot of United fans that have kind of come out of the...
they've come out of the abyss and they've
started... Out of the sewers this season. Because the season started and they went back-to-back L's. Brighton and Brentford.
That Brentford game... That was like the hottest day of the year, mate.
Everyone was like, ooh, United, are they going to give Ten Hag time? This is looking ropes.
Erik 10 weeks, they were saying.
Erik 10 weeks.
And then it became, what was it, Erik... No, it was Erik 10 days.
And then we said Erik 10 days, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, and I think it all comes down to one signing. A lot of people kind of were iffy. He's 30 years old. He might be past it.
Oh, yeah.
Casemiro.
I think that's... Actually, before we get on to Casemiro, I would argue that it comes down to one signing for a different team. Al Nassr, mate.
Yeah, you know what?
I would argue that's almost more important.
Did Casemiro and Ronaldo play together? They did, didn't they? They must
Don't care.
Don't care.
I think...
Give it gigs there.
Like, Casemiro has been a quality player, but nothing has revitalised Man United fan spirits, quite like Marky Rashford. He's feeding the hungry and he's feeding United fans trophies now. He's doing it.
I like that.
He's doing it. And it was all down to the removal of probably one of the greatest players of all time.
Yeah.
Mental.
Casey said it on the pod. When did we have him on? Last week? The week before? That he said when we asked him, what do you attribute Rashford's kind of surge in form to? And he said the removal of the Ronaldo roadblock. And I think that was a very good way of putting it. I think, yes, when you've got a team where one player is just not a different league monetarily, ego-wise, everything.
He's
it's hard to have a cohesive unit when you've got one Don that is just a different planet to everybody else.
It's true.
And that's why maybe Messi works. And also his ego is nowhere near the size
He's
of
quite
Ronaldo's.
humble, isn't he? Yeah.
But the ego, even if it was big, would slot in at PSG because he's surrounded by other massive egos. So he's not like one massive ego in a place where everyone's trying to be humble. PSG is where you go to indulge your ego. Whereas United now, Ten Hag's got this culture. You see it when he took Rashford out of the team when he missed the...
he was late
for, what was it, like a meeting or something?
Like that, yeah.
You can see he's got a culture where he's like, I ain't going to take no... I was going to say swear word, but I'm going to try not to swear as much.
We have swore already, though.
Have we?
Yeah, we're about Chelsea.
Oh,
I'm going to beep out now. I'm going to beep out.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I'm going to make a very conscious effort not to swear.
Effort not to swear, yeah.
Because I've realised we swear too much and YouTube may not be a fan of it.
We're sorry, YouTube.
Yeah, what was I going to say? Oh, so yeah, Erik ten Hag takes no stick from anyone. And
he won't take no lip.
No jip.
Sure, my manager said that the other day, jip, and I was like, that's an old person's word.
We're old people here. We're old, humble man. But yeah, so he's got this culture of no nonsense, and I think it was hard to do that when you got someone on like, what is it, 750 grand a week or whatever the fuck he was.
Oh, that was so good.
Whatever he was on, and so you can't do that. And now he's got people that are all buying into his culture. Got rid of the people that aren't buying into his culture. And United, I think, are on a bit of a resurgent path that I think might be quicker than people expect. I was expecting a similar duration to Arsenal, 2-3 years. I think it might be quicker.
So I think it comes down to the fact that I think Erik ten Hag is a better manager than Arteta. But I also think United have invested.
They've got like a £1 billion squad already.
They've spent, the assets were there. It was just bringing in the right sort of man to utilise them. Yeah. And I think Ten Hag is that man. I think he overachieved massively with Ajax as well.
Yeah,
I think that Ajax squad, and you've seen a lot of that Ajax squad get torn apart,
mainly by him.
And like the players have gone on and they've been almost average because he made them work as a unit. Like I think he was that good a coach that he sort of did what Eddie Howe's done and took average players and made them look exceptional.
Yeah.
But and like you've seen it now, Ajax is struggling. Ajax is struggling massively.
Yeah. Well, they
might have to go see that in real life. Perhaps who knows?
Stay tuned.
But yeah. So I think Erik ten Hag is like an elite manager. I think we saw that in the cup final as well. I think he made the right decisions. I thought initially I think he brought Dalot in to negate Alan Saint-Maximin by pressing higher up the pitch, keeping him deeper. Didn't work. Dalot got carded yellow early, so he brought on Wan-Bissaka.
Who just pocketed him, yeah.
The opposite. He recognised that straight away and like prevented it before it went too far. And I think we've seen him in games where, I think they said this on Tifo earlier, he doesn't just, if it's not working, just switch out players. He will move. He will change his system. He will change where players are playing. I've seen like Weghorst. So Weghorst is playing in the 10 behind Rashford at points. Then Rashford's going out wide. We've seen Bruno Fernandes playing really tight with Anthony, and like it's really interesting to watch how like his systems of play are working. And I think from the beginning he's tried to implement these systems, and he's realised De Gea can't do it from the back. The build-up play is not there, so they're building up further up the pitch. The build-up starts sort of around their half of the centre circle.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see. And I think he's built the system to like utilise Rashford. Like we're watching Rashford now. get released all the time. Like, he is the
Yeah.
number one target.
It's
Everyone is
almost
looking
like
for
the
him.
opposite of Man City, where Haaland is making these runs and no one's releasing him. Whereas now Rashford is making these runs and everyone just is looking for him.
But
all
it's
the
so
time.
much harder to track a run from like someone who's playing out wide and a bit deeper in, because
Oh yeah, 100%.
if he comes in to the middle of the pitch, then do you stay wide
yeah,
and mark no one, but you're marking the space behind
Yeah.
in case he comes back?
or Luke Shaw comes.
But
round.
like, Haaland is not isolated because he isn't, but like, he is fairly like covered up because people are cutting off the supplies to him prior now, whereas that's what they were lacking. They weren't able to do earlier in the season. You know what I mean? And I feel like Haaland's output falters when De Bruyne's output falters. If De Bruyne is having a stinker, Haaland's going to have a stinker because he was the one being able to, when teams were playing exceptionally and cutting off the supply, he was the one to be able to find that yard of space to get the pass out and get that inch perfect. So, but yeah, back to Man United. Erik ten Hag, mate, you're doing a hell of a job.
Yes, I think after the break we will talk about his incomings, because I saw a tweet where it was like Pep Guardiola versus Erik ten Hag, and then they both had like expenditures of a bill, and obviously Ten Hag hasn't had that much money, but they were comparing it since the start of Guardiola's reign to now, and it included obviously all the old Man United managers and their expenditure, but both of the teams have had a spenny season. Also, do you see Pep Guardiola? He came out on Twitter, it was in a press conference and was like, someone asked him, Man United back to competing for trophies, and he was like, they just need to spend a little more. We like that from Pep.
Erik, 10 mil.
10 bill. We're back in a bit. Back again!
Back again, and now Man United back again. Who knows? But maybe they will continue to impress under the reign of Erik ten Hag, who was just going to just go through a little bit about his incomings, what he's got to work with, because...
Yes. I think, so we always said, and like when you said he's a better manager than Arteta, and then we were like, it's because, he's better, more handsome, more bald, or is he
he's
more...
got better hair.
Who's more handsome, Ten Hag or Arteta?
Arteta.
Yeah, it's got to be, doesn't he?
Arteta is the most handsome manager in the league, isn't he?
Yeah. Give us a shout. Who's the most handsome manager in the league? I think it's my Don, isn't it? Arteta every day. Anyway, so we were talking about how his squad was already pretty stacked, and you needed to just get one or two man in, and then a man manager that can get the underperformers performing well and bed in the new people in a new system. So I just want to go through his transfer incomings during his time at United. You can give me kind of your thoughts on if they're doing well, if maybe in like a couple of years' time they're still going to be here, are they a key player, blah, blah, blah. Just let me know what you think of these players. And we'll start from the bottom, cheap, all the way up to the top. And you all know who Top Don is in expenditure-wise, and it's an L, so we don't even talk about him. But Jack Butland, currently...
He's got
a loan transfer from Palace, got a trophy.
He's got a trophy to his name now. He's got he didn't make an appearance, did he?
Well, back to back it with Dubravka as well. So they got Dubravka in, and then obviously had to send him back to Newcastle when they recalled him. Let's talk about the goalkeeper situation at Man United. I've seen a lot of people calling for De Gea to get a new contract.
I think De Gea is like the most flippy floppy of goalkeepers. I think he's an excellent shot stopper. I think he's one of the best still. But his ability to play with his feet is non-existent.
And that's where the game's going.
I don't know whether he is that good of a shot stopper to value him in your team over maybe bringing in someone who's better with their feet and probably a little bit less good of a shot stopper.
Because I genuinely...
if you control games, you can see less shots.
Every single game, I see him do at least 2 or 3 nightmare clearances. Like in the Barcelona game, I don't know if you're watching it when they were playing Barcelona, right before half-time, so they were losing 1-0, and they were getting peppered in the first half. And everyone was like, just get to half-time, they'll be fine. Right before half-time, they pass it back to De Gea, and he does the stinkiest clearance straight to a Barcelona player on the edge of the box. And then lucky Varane makes an absolutely astounding clearance to stop it. But just every game, you can expect at least 1 or 2 howlers. And like you said, if you've got a keeper that you can trust, it just calms the defence down, calms everything down. And yeah, I think he's been a servant for Man United. There's been chances where Real Madrid have been interested and he hasn't gone. But I agree. I don't know if he's the guy long term.
I think, definitely not long term. I think if you look around Europe, there's a plethora of good, like, not even young keepers, but just good keepers who are like maybe like 24, 25, and goalkeepers, they play a little bit longer than outfield players. And I feel like make an investment into one of those, a decent one. And De Gea's on like 400k a week or something.
Yeah, you could literally
you could get a top European keeper for like 100k a week.
Yeah, exactly. Quarter that wage, and that'd be
like Unai someone or like someone of that sort of.
Yeah, Diego Costa.
Yeah, like there are excellent keepers out there. So yeah, I think that is somewhere in the summer maybe they look to try.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
Does Ten Hag want to avoid shuffling the team too much? Obviously, I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, keepers definitely something for me. They need to look out for in the summer.
Right. I'll double these two together, and then we'll talk about the other midfielder that's kind of a league above these two. But they got Marcel Sabitzer on loan, and then Christian Eriksen on a free transfer. So both cheap business.
Yeah.
What do you think of these two boys?
So Sabitzer's obviously come in for cover after Eriksen's injury.
Yeah.
I think Eriksen has been a shrewd signing. I think someone like Spurs could have absolutely done
every day of the week. Yeah, we said this massively. A few times. Yeah.
I think he was sort of their shining star in the early part of the season where they were struggling. I think anything good that did happen sort of came through him.
Yeah,
it's a shame he's got injured, but yeah, I think he's been a really shrewd signing, and fair play to him.
Yeah, I agree, and I will get onto this in the end, towards the end, because I kind of want to float the idea that maybe Man United aren't as back as we think they are. But also, I might have to asterisk that with the fact that Eriksen is out. Because like you said, when I believe they were playing their best football, it was when they had Casemiro and Eriksen, and they had more creative outlets than just Bruno Fernandes. Because for me, at the moment, their only creative outlet is Bruno Fernandes finding Rashford. Yeah, that is their only kind of passage of play at the moment. And that is probably down to a combination of not having the players they need yet and the players that were creative being out.
Eriksen, when he's on the pitch, he's a deep line playmaker in every sense of the word.
100%.
So he will be able to find Rashford a bit more. And probably they'll be able to like lengthen the gap between their DMs and their attacking midfielder, or their 10, however they play it. But when Eriksen comes in, because he sort of allows them to breach that gap, like the 10 doesn't have to drop so deep into the midfield, so they'll probably have to stretch teams a little bit more and find a little bit more space in the channels.
I agree. I think Eriksen, quality signing. I think a lot of Prem teams in and around the top half should have been looking at him, and for Man United just to get a free run at him.
Liverpool could have done with him massively.
Yeah, for United just to get a free run at him and Casemiro, who we'll get onto as a partnership in the middle, is top draw, to be fair. So, yeah, I think... What do you think long term, though? Do you think they still need another midfielder?
Yeah, I mean, that midfield isn't young by any stretch of the word. I mean,
definitely not. We're talking about 30 years old.
Erik, Sabitzer and Casemiro are all in their 30s, right?
Yeah, and then obviously, they've got Scott McTominay, who I think is probably on his way out.
I've been impressed with Fred, actually.
Fred, a little bit of a resurgence.
But I think he fried, and I've seen this everywhere. He is a master of chaos.
Yeah, he's like
when there is no system, when there is it's just literally just tackles flying in, just chaos reigning. He just seems to pop up in the right place. He scored a great goal against Barcelona where he scuffed it off his shin, but he's in the right place, and I think he came in for quite a hefty little price tag.
Yeah, I think it was like 40 mil.
Yeah, and from Shakhtar, right?
Yeah.
And I don't really know what anyone's expecting from him, because I think he played a bit more in a bit more of an attacking role. He was he was like an attacking midfielder for them, Shakhtar. But he came in and then he's deployed in this sort of defensive midfielder role. It hasn't worked, but it hasn't not worked. I think he's been quite. He just has a couple howlers, or like just games where he just like doesn't click.
For me, he's like, so I'll just attribute it to Arsenal. He's like their El Neni, but probably a bit more.
He's a bit
more like
different levels on him.
Probably like a level up, but less consistent. Like an Ernie, you probably won't have any howlers, but you won't get a game where he'll get man of the match.
But
whereas,
Fred goes for it a bit more. Like he wants to be involved in the attacking phases as well as the defensive phases. So I think he is. If you can get him playing at a 7 out of 10 every game, it's brilliant. But I think you can't ask him to do too much.
Yeah.
Especially if you're matching Scott McTominay, you're asking
We'll get
him
rid
to do
of.
too much.
I think
You partner
get
him
rid
with
of him.
Casemiro. Casemiro does a lot of the heavy lifting, so Fred is a bit more free, and I think that's when he's best.
and they can speak Brazilian to each other rather than fucking Fred and Scott McTominay trying to chat. Don't know how that'd work, but yeah, I think if you get Fred, like El Nenny's happy with his kind of squad player role at Arsenal. If you get Fred happy with a squad role, and just be like, you're going to fill in games where we need you to man mark De Bruyne like you did in the Manchester derby, or a game where someone's injured and you'll come in. But I do think they need a youngish midfielder to kind of build around, let Casemiro impart some knowledge before Casemiro kind of moves on.
But like someone, I say it's a lot, Sandro Tonali.
I want to
would
see him.
be-
Want to see more Italians in the Prem. That's what I want.
Yeah, I like Tonali a lot.
Yeah, he's a good player.
He'd be ideal. But yeah, let's move on to the next one.
Yes, and kind of we'll get onto discussion of kind of Man United and their need for a striker. But what are you thinking about Weghorst?
Wout Weghorst, their only signing of January.
Yeah.
The one where Ronaldo went to Al Nassr, so Al Nassr had to get rid of Abubacar, who went to Fenerbahce to get, or was it Besiktas to get rid of Wout Weghorst, who went back to Burnley, who went to United, something like that. All chaos. I think it was Besiktas. But yeah, he's just big. He's like what do they call him? Like the press, or he's a platform.
He's a bit rubbish though, isn't he?
He's not excellent by any standard of the word, and he's pretty average. But I think he is there to literally facilitate just a role.
Yeah.
In be a nuisance. I don't think he's been asked to score 20 goals a season. I think he gives them set piece threat, which I think they've been lacking this season, and especially when you got someone like Christian Eriksen, even Marcus Rashford, Bruno Fernandes, Luke Shaw. Yeah, they've got set piece experts,
Technicians,
technicians, yes. And so I think it gives it something else. There's a bit of a different dynamic, and I think that's the main word here, dynamic. I think he gives them different options and a different way of figuring out how to beat teams, because he's physical. You could play off of him. You can use him as a target man. You can use him in that 10 role. We've seen him drop behind Rashford, where he plays sort of as a deeper lying platform in terms of, so when De Gea and his terrible distribution, he has a bit of an easier target to aim for.
Yeah.
It's just a different option. Their need for a striker is massive.
Big
Martial
time.
is
Let's talk about that. Martial, waste of space.
Gone. The striker market isn't
Particularly,
it's
there's no
not
like
thriving.
mid-range really. It's either not good enough for Man United or like elite, and Man United probably need that player, but it's going to cost like 100 million.
I think they need to go all out for Osimhen.
Osimhen, the ones that I can kind of float. Osimhen,
Harry Kane,
obviously. Maybe, I know he's had a bit of a stinker this season, but Dusan Vlahovic.
Yeah, Vlahovic, yeah.
And then
Luka
you've got that
Jovic.
kind of tier down where it's probably not good enough for Man United, but they're actually very, very decent players. So you're talking Mitro, you're talking Tony,
Callum Wilson.
Tammy Abraham.
Yeah, I think that's just going down another, like, I wouldn't only say like Lukaku route, because Lukaku was that top tier, just didn't work. But I think they need to. I think that their sons will be smarter under Ten Hag. I don't think he's just gonna. I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, even like Louis van Gaal, they probably would have taken a lot of players that they didn't want just for the sake of bolstering their squad. I can't see Ten Hag just bringing in players for the sake of it.
Yeah. For me, it's always been, I think they should go for Harry Kane.
Yeah,
but I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't think he's going to leave Spurs.
I would love it if it happened. Not because I like Man United, mainly because I dislike Spurs, mainly because I dislike Harry Kane, but I just think I'd like to see him somewhere that isn't Spurs, just to see if he gets even better, if there's another tier to him.
Yeah.
Because he could literally be the best striker on the planet.
But we'll never know.
But we'll never know because he is surrounded by so many donkeys. But
or he could go to another club and stink up. Who knows?
Exactly.
It's
And
happened
I'd
before.
like to see that. I hate that he's just decided to become... And obviously commitment, loyalty, love that. But like, mate, have some bloody... what's the word? Have some bloody...
balls.
Cojones. Have some... I don't know. Just do something, man. Stop being boring.
What about I throw this one out there? Yeah, Man United going for Bobby Firmino.
How old is Bobby Firms these days? It's got to be like 30.
30, 31, maybe 32. But I think he would facilitate. I think he would do a job.
He'd do what they want Wout Weghorst to do,
to actually do,
but actually do it good.
Yeah,
because
I think-
Weghorst is shocking.
I mean, we saw the season where Bruno scored like 16 goals, 17 goals, whatever. Electric. I think Bobby Firms gives players a platform to play like that. In the day, I know he's not the player he was when they were playing with Mane and Salah, and them three were like just
Electric, yeah.
Yeah, but you bring your players now to facilitate Rashford. I think if you get Rashford scoring 24 goals a season or something, like you'd be flying.
Yeah, 100%.
And
he
number
gets
one
goals, to be fair, as well.
Target number one, Osimhen.
Yeah, for me, it's got to be Osimhen, but I think we're talking like 100 mil and
That's
some.
nothing.
And some.
Mate, 120 million for Enzo Fernandez.
And so we'll move
Game's
on.
in disrepute.
Yeah,
That's the one, yeah.
But yeah, desperate need for a striker. Osimhen to Man United.
Who knows? Next one.
Tyrell Malacia.
Yeah, I mean,
Or
I think
Malacia.
that, what was it 50? Yeah, 15 mil. I think someone that,
Yeah, he's
Ten
very
Hag
much a
moved
Ten
from-
Hag signing. Yeah.
and it's 15 million spent, and it's made Luke Shaw play football.
Yeah, it's true, because giving him a kick up the bum.
And Luke Shaw's been pretty good.
And a lot of people saying, is he the best left back in the world right now?
Luke Shaw?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah.
We had this discussion, and we said Zinchenko, and we got some belters from United
wait.
fans.
You said in the world?
Yeah.
No, not in the, maybe in the Premier League.
Oh, yeah, well, we said in the Prem.
Yeah, I mean,
Who is the best left back in the world?
Cancelo.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't like.
I don't even know who else is out there that could be up for the debate.
I mean, Alphonso Davies.
yeah,
It's pretty good.
he is pretty good.
I've been lacking in my European knowledge right now. You know.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It'd be like Nuno Mendes from PSG, but he's probably not in the conversation.
The Barcelona left back that's taken Ansu Fati's spot.
Oh, Keita Balde.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's been quite
Yeah,
electric.
he's quite good.
Theo Hernandez, Luca Hernandez,
Yeah.
one of them man.
Yeah, I don't know. Luke Shaw, though, decent. Tyrell Malacia, I think just good squad player. Very much seems to be a kind of guy that will
15
just
million is
put
nothing.
his
is
head
it?
down, do the work. But now we're on to the big three.
Maybe not so big though. This one,
Yeah.
and a lot of people were saying this.
It took me a while to be like, eh?
Yeah,
But
a lot of people were saying.
So you got
before
Jamie
this
Carragher being
man
like-
signed.
He's too small.
He's too small.
That was a terrible accent.
He's too small.
He's too small, lad.
Yeah, he's just proving everyone wrong. He's been electric. For me, he's been maybe the second best centre back in the league this season.
He is very good for a shorter man.
He's just very good for a centre back.
Yeah, and I like his tenacity, his ball playing. I think we knew that he was going to be a good ball player. I think the fact that he can play left back, centre mid, centre back, you can tell he's like
He's a footballer.
high technical player, a player with high technical ability. And so him and Varane, two ball players, like fizzing them into Casemiro and Eriksen, that's ideal. When you've got bloody Harry Maguire and Lindelof fizzing it into Fred and McTominay, the ball's just going to be spinning off left, right, centre. Whereas,
a
like,
pinball machine.
genuinely, now you've got four players who are all technically elite. You can fizz them into each other quick. Break lines nice. So I think Lisandro Martinez, yes, they paid. So we got in euros here, 57 million, which I think is about 45 mil pound.
It's worth it.
It's
probably.
good because you're losing an absolute, I was going to say, S-ton. You're losing a bucket load on your investment in Harry Maguire because you're shoveling him out. The best you can ask for is that your replacement for him lives up to the money because you don't want another big centre-back expenditure flopping. So I think Lisandro Martinez, quality signing.
Yeah, I agree. Quality signing. 8 out of 10 stars.
Yeah. I'll give him...
Actually, I'm going to give him a 9 out of 10 stars.
I'm going to give him a 5 out of 6 foot.
Yeah, that's not bad. It's not bad. Next one, we've already spoken about a lot, but probably...
Definitely
definitely their most... Yeah, their best signing of the summer. Casemiro, Need we say more? We've spoken at length about
70
him.
mil for a 30-year-old. Everyone was like, ooh, it's a little bit
Yeah,
juicy.
I always in my head thought he was like 35.
Yeah.
He's got. But you said this as well. You got years in that position. You can play that position for a while. Look at N'Golo Kante, mate. He's about to get a new 25-year deal.
He's made of breadsticks these days.
Mate, like you said on the Twitter account, go let him play in Serie A, man.
Yeah, let my boy flourish.
Let him spread his wings, bro.
Go play Lake Como by the beach. Why
I
are you
would
in
love to go to Lake
central
Como,
London?
I would love to go see Como 1907. That'd be sick.
Stay tuned. But yeah, imagine poor N'Golo just driving around central London. I mean, he's on P's. It's probably quite nice, but just go.
You don't see him turn up in that little hatchback. Like,
yeah, he's got a little smart car, doesn't he? But
yeah.
Casemiro.
Let's just talk about Anthony.
Let's fry the top Don. 90 million for this guy.
Actually, wait, hold up. We're gonna need more than a minute for this. We'll come back after the break. Let's get our heads together. Just to fry this, man.
Anthony.
Anthony.
Is he a futsal player?
You're on this vibe, aren't you, man?
Mate, he's just not good enough.
He's not a top.
He's
Euro
not
player.
scary. I wouldn't, if I was a defender, be like, Christ, I'm coming up against Anthony today. I need to be on my game.
Just try Sean with his right foot.
Genuinely,
any of it.
Like, but there's wingers in the Prem. I'm talking Rashford, Saka, Mahrez, Foden on his day. You're like Salah. You're like, Christ, I've got a day ahead of me coming up against them, bro. If I pulled up the team sheet and I was like, yes, I'm against Anthony, I'd be like, that's light work. The guy's not strong. There was a little segment in the Carabao Cup final. Do you see where he's skinning Dan Burn?
Yeah.
And then he went back and tried to skin him again, and then Joe Linton just absolutely cleaned him out. That's all I'd do, is I'd let him do that, like, futsal kind of ball roll spin, and then I'd take a yellow. I'd just clean him out.
Yeah, maybe that's why he's good, though, because he aggravates players like that.
He aggravates me.
I think you can get more for your money with this man. I think he has scored a couple of nice goals with left foot, and clearly he's got a very nice left foot. He's just got he might as well play one-legged, mate. He has nothing going for him his right foot. You show him onto the outside, he doesn't go down the line. He can't come down the line. I think he leaves you very limited in sort of your options. Unless you're playing a very asymmetrical 4-3-3, which Man United don't. He doesn't really offer you much because, like you say, he can be isolated very easily if you get him onto his right foot.
Yeah.
Then you're playing basically down to 10 men. If you come up against a smart left back or a centre back pairing.
Yeah. The pros of Anthony: he's a hard worker.
Yep.
You can tell Ten Hag clearly likes him.
Got a good shot on him.
Got a good shot on him. Like you said, he winds players up, and so I think he does a service for the team. In that, I think they play when Dalot plays specifically. That he allows Dalot to overlap. And I think, I don't know, he offers kind of a safety on that right-hand side that maybe if you played Jadon Sancho there, or I don't know, who else they play there, Rashford if he's shoved out there and they play Garnacho on the other side. I think he is meant to be there, whereas like when Rashford is playing there, you can tell he should be on the other side. Same with Jadon Sancho. But yeah, for the £80 million they paid, you should be asking for more. You
should have got Leao for that.
You want at least 10 goals, 10 assists for that. And for me, Anthony's not doing that ever.
Yeah, I think he's just proper overrated.
I was going to say I want to be proven wrong. I don't like being proven wrong, so I don't want to be proven
Yeah,
wrong.
I mean...
But like, I'm all for him having an absolute stormer
I love
and
seeing
going crazy.
players.
Yeah, we like a techie Don. But he's techie Don with like nothing. Whereas like Mahrez,
Mate, he is...
big love to Mahrez. He's a techie as Don, but he can cut in on that left foot, whip a naughty
He's
one
got
in.
output.
But then he can cut in on his left foot, and then he'll chop back onto his right, and he can use his right foot.
He's a man of substance.
Whereas
Anthony
a delicious technique.
Anthony is merely a thin veneer of a human.
I think I'd have Anthony at Power League.
Well, I just, like, genuinely, he is that Donny on pro clubs, on your team, who plays left wing. He makes his character 5'1".
Yes.
Yeah. And he has 5-star skill moves.
And
all he does is keepy uppies and then runs back.
Yeah.
And then when he's got a little bit of space because no one's chasing him, he does more keepy uppies.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. But fair play, whatever. Should we wrap up the Man United talk?
Yeah, I think Man United, be excited. Shit be happening.
It do be happening. He's sworn
please.
again.
Yeah, beat that, please. Yeah, stuff's happening. Be excited.
Where else is stuff happening, Roz?
We've got a very exciting announcement. We've been teasing it for a couple of weeks now. We said BoreDraw for a couple of weeks now.
We're
But we
gonna give you
haven't
some of the
really,
deets.
given the deets out yet. But Luke, tell them what we've got in store.
BoreDraw are going on a Euro tour. We're taking BoreDraw global.
Let's go.
And by global, I mean Europe. And by Europe, we're taking a little pit stop in Roz's motherland. We're going to Italia. We are going to be
Tasting the local delicacies.
Yeah.
Un piccolo pizza. A little bit of vino grigio.
Limoncello.
Yes. So we're landing in the beautiful land of Milan.
Yeah, Milan. Obviously home to some fairly big teams.
Yeah.
You might have heard of them in Inter and AC.
And then we're taking a quick train northeast, I believe, to the beautiful lakeside town of Como.
Como. And we're going to be there on Saturday 18th for
Special match.
big match. Como 1907 versus Parma. It's going to be exciting.
It's going to be good.
We're well excited. We've got tickets in the bag. We're going to be there live supporting Como. Got the likes of Cesc Fabregas in midfield. You might have heard of him. Patrick Coutron.
It's going to be good. It's going to be
We've
good.
got Giangi Buffon for Parma. Mark Bircham in the coaching role for Como.
QPR man.
QPR man. Dennis Wise as well, chairman of Como.
Chelsea man.
Brentford, QPR, yeah.
Yeah, I'm on. So
Exciting times. So yeah,
that's where we start.
that's where we start. But it's not over. It's not over.
Where do we go after that, Luke?
After the Como game, we will be returning to Milano for some time, and then we quickly, the next morning, head over to none other than Amsterdam in the Netherlands. So we are going to be landing in Amsterdam on the 19th, the Sunday, and that is the day of a huge game in the Eredivisie.
They call it Die Klassiker.
Die Klassiker. It's Ajax versus Feyenoord. It's going to be
Two of Netherlands' biggest footballing outfits.
It's
Currently,
gonna
I
be-
believe, second and third in the league.
Yeah, Ajax faltering a bit this year after the loss of Erik ten Hag. Can't really seem to get their managerial appointment down. And Feyenoord playing quite well, actually. Doing a little bit of business. Final at the top. First
and
second.
second. Yeah,
But
I knew they were...
Ajax 5 wins out of the last 5. So we've timed this right. It's going to be a big one.
Huge game.
And we'll be there at the Johan Cruyff Arena.
So, we'll just run that through. So we've got Como 1907 versus Parma, Saturday the 18th. And then Sunday the 19th, Die Klassiker, Ajax hosting Feyenoord. And we will be there for both of them. Us two. And you remember Tommy Hoops?
Special guest.
He's back again.
He's back.
He's back again for
Can't
the
get rid
Euro
of him.
Tour. He's back again for
He's
the Euro
coming as the
Tour.
cameraman.
You love to see it.
Extraordinaire.
And that's not it. We've got two very special giveaways that we're going to run as part of our trip.
So, in the spirit of the Euro Tour, we are going to be giving away a Como 1907 jersey, but fresh from the shores of Lake Como. And we're also going to be giving away a fresh Ajax top. And I'm just not being funny here, but both those kits are buff. They are some top kits. So we will be doing giveaways. Do you want to run through the giveaways a little bit?
So we're going to be doing one giveaway on our YouTube channel, where you're currently watching us right now, and another giveaway on our TikTok.
TikTok.
So make sure you're subbed here on YouTube. Follow us on TikTok. We'll be giving away one shirt here on YouTube, one shirt there on TikTok. If you enter on both, so all you need to do is follow us on YouTube, follow us on TikTok. That's all you need to do to enter. Be a follower. And we'll go through our followers on the day that we get back. We'll figure out a date that we're going to do it. Because we've actually got, what we're going to do is film a very special video for you guys.
So yeah, we're obviously going to be doing a little BoreDraw Euro Tour video, a little special. It's going to be feature length. It's going to be big. It's going to be massive. It's going to be the biggest project you've seen out of BoreDraw so far.
So maybe on the day that releases,
We'll pick a winner.
we'll pick a winner. So make sure you're following us here on YouTube. Follow us there on TikTok. And if you follow us on both, you can be entered to win both. And yeah, on the day that releases...
We'll pump out some more details further down the line as well. But yeah, I mean, get excited, guys.
Get very excited. Euro Tour giveaway, special feature-length movie, documentary movie. It's going to be sick.
And Tommy Hooper's in it.
And Tommy Hooper's there. What more could you ask for?
It's going to be elite. We were going to get the Young Ajax game squeezed in there as well on the day after, or was it couple days after the Classica? But that's been moved forward, so we will not be able to see Young Ajax, which is a shame because we love a bit of youth football, mate. Bit of youth football.
But it is what it is. 2 very special games. One in Italy, one in Holland. Get excited. As we said, BoreDraw, we're going Euro Tour.
BoreDraw Euro Tour is happening. Get excited. Make sure you subscribe. Right.
We'll end with our customary Premier League predictions.
Terrible predictions.
Yeah, it's been stinker upon stinker upon stinker.
But it just comes to show the beauty of the Premier League.
But we've started, so we've got to go the whole way now.
Saturday, the 4th of March, kicking off with Man City versus Newcastle.
Decent game.
Back-to-back games for Newcastle against the Manx.
Yeah,
mad.
I think Man City do them. I think Newcastle are going to be a little bit sad face after the.
I think they're on a bit of a decline.
Yeah,
but I don't think it's a long-term decline. I think this is fairly. I think the rot could stop.
Yeah,
but who knows?
When these two played each other early in the season, it was juicy. 3-3. I think Newcastle should have won that game, but I think Man City are going to win this one. I'm going to give it a. Man City conceding for fun at the moment, though. I think I saw a stat, haven't had a clean sheet in their last 8 games, which is crazy. I'm going to go 2-1 Man... No, 3-1 Man City.
I'm going to go 2-1 Man City.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then Arsenal host a faltering Bournemouth, but there's a couple of little gems in there. They got their Hamad Traore up top, who I really like the look of. But Arsenal flying at the moment, absolutely dominated the living daylights out of Leicester.
Yeah. Lowest ever...
XG on Premier League record, I think, is what happened.
Mental. Turns out it doesn't happen often.
Yeah, Luke was giving me chat. I was well gassed. I was like, we've absolutely squashed them. They haven't touched the goal. And Luke was like, no, that happens all the time, mate. But I'm going to go 4-0 Arsenal.
Oh, 4?
Yeah.
I'm going to go 2.
Okay.
I think Brighton, Bournemouth might rise to the occasion a little bit, but...
We are actually playing tomorrow night, though, so there could be something, a little spice on there.
Get the excuses out early.
Sorry. Villa Palace.
1-1.
Yeah, it's got stinker written all over it.
I don't think it'll be a stinker.
I think it will. I think it's going to be 0-0.
Should we just, instead of the predictions, next thing we'll just do stinker or not?
Stinker or not stinker?
Brighton or West Ham?
Not stinker.
Not a stinker. Brighton to beat West Ham 2-0.
I'm going to go 2-1.
Chelsea Leeds?
Not stinker. Chelsea. So I think Graham Potter's on the ropes here. I think the sources I'm reading, he's got 2 games to save his life, or Bowley's going to kill him.
His life? Voldemort's coming back, mate.
I'm going 2-0 Chelsea.
Yeah, Javi Garcia in Leeds. Good result against Southampton last week.
I quite liked him at Watford.
But, he kept Watford up, didn't he? Done quite well. I'm going to go 1-0 Chelsea. What did you say?
2-0.
I'm going to go 1-0 Chelsea.
Wolves versus Spurs.
1-0 Spurs, Harry Kane. 81st minute.
I do agree that Spurs are going to win. I'm going to go 2-1 Spurs.
Okay.
Then Spurs, just want to touch on them because I think I slaughter them a lot. Defensively, looking all right at the moment. And that could be down to no Hugo Lloris.
Almost certainly.
Because I've seen Spurs fans tweet, I feel a lot more comfortable.
Fraser
Forster in goal.
It's mad how you lose the best goalkeeper in world football.
Yeah.
And get better. The game where Leicester once humbled Southampton.
Yeah, doesn't really think.
I
wonder if Maddison's back. Because without Maddison, they look just completely dry. But when Maddison's in, different team.
Yeah, I'm going to go for a 2-1 Leicester.
I think Leicester are going to win. I'm going to go 3-1 Leicester.
Okay. Nottingham Forest versus Everton. Nottingham Forest doing well. What was the result on the weekend?
They lost.
I think it was their first loss since.
Oh yeah, they got smashed by West Ham.
Smashed by West Ham. That was it. Smashed by West Ham. That was a strange one. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, no, neither did I.
But Danny Ings with 2 goals, Antonio with 1, I think.
Yeah.
And Who was Declan Rice? I think
Was it?
got another one. Yeah, so
Not bad.
yeah, interesting result that because I don't think anyone would call that going into it on form. But they're up against Sean Dyche Everton. I think this could be quite an interesting game.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw.
I think Everton, because they're playing tomorrow night. I don't know if Nottingham Forest have got an FA Cup game. But I think Forest will win. I think it's going to be 1-0 Forest.
Okay. Oh, this is the one. This
The
is
juice,
the big
man.
one.
The
I mean,
juicy
we've got Man City Newcastle, and we've got Liverpool versus Man United in a weekend. It's going to be unbelievable. I'm very excited for this, and I think Liverpool could pose a bit more threat to Man United than a lot of people think.
Yeah, I think so. But this has got to be the biggest kind of difference in like how their teams are feeling about
Over the last 5 to
'cause,
10 years.
yeah, in the last 5 years, Liverpool have got to go into this game every single time thinking we'll smash them.
Yeah.
But this has probably got to be the first time where bookies probably have United as favourites. I haven't seen it, but they probably do.
United beat Arsenal in the season, beat City, beat Chelsea,
Yeah, beat Liverpool.
beat Liverpool. Can they do it again? I'm going to say no. I'm going to go 2-2.
2-2. Yeah, I think it's going to be.
I think it's goals galore.
I think
here.
it's a good game.
I just think
it's a good game.
I think they had a war against Barcelona. I think they had somewhat of a war against
more of a
Newcastle.
mini battle.
I think fighting these high intensity games
Takes it out of you.
takes it out of you. I don't think they'll be quite on it. So yeah, I think
Liverpool have to be on it, for the love of God. They got slapped by Real Madrid, and then as a reaction, what do? Go draw 0-0 against Crystal Palace. So they've got to be on something, for the love of God. But I agree. I think 2-2's a shout. I actually think Liverpool are going to win. I'm going to go 2-1.
Interesting. I don't hate it. I think one of the teams will win or it'll end in a draw probably.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, rounded out the game week. Monday, London derby. Brentford versus Fulham. Two teams I'm very envious of. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. Ivan Toney could be in a cell by then.
Yeah, I didn't realise. Luke was telling me earlier that he's
Pleaded guilty apparently.
pled guilty
200
to
million counts.
being a gambling addict. I don't know. Gambling addiction is no joke.
I hope he gambled on some funny stuff.
Yeah, like some Tunisian football.
Yeah, like Bolivia's 4th division.
Yeah. But I'm going Brentford to win this 1-0.
Nice.
Yeah, that's us done.
That's us done, mate. It's late.
Been a long day.
The BoreDraw Euro Tour is nearly upon us.
We're both gagging for a holiday. Euro Tour's upon us.
Get following, get subscribed.
Ow.
Get your nan subscribed as well. Your nan would look good in the Como shirt.
Yeah, our aim was 100 subs before we went away. We're actually on 111, I believe. So maybe
Maybe
it
get
cheeky?
to 1,011.
Yeah, I was going to say 150, but 1,011, I'll take it.
We'll take it any day of the week.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you so much for watching. This has been BoreDraw, episode number 37. The
We
Euro
love
Tour is nearly
Every
here.
single one of you.
We do, indeed.
We love you.
Samo too. Reach out to us, please.
Every time.
It's been BoreDraw, and it's live. Bash!